kudos to them for being an evil genius for combining things.
Well, listen, they're in the business to sell something, and I get that, right? I understand that. That's what marketers do. They listen. We got a product, and we need to keep it going. So they're thinking of every ingenious way to keep their stuff going.
But if you're doing watercolor and you're holding a glass of wine that could drown a baby, don't you realize you have a problem? You're not there for the watercolor.
That's, you know what? And again, it's, that's how people, they justify it through those means by saying, I'm just out with my girlfriends or my guy friends or whatever it is you're doing. And it's like, okay, well, you didn't just have a couple, for me, it was always you're all in or you're nothing. And, it was like, okay, you want to go out and have a couple beers? And even now I look at people and I go, what? A couple beers? Like, what the hell's that going to do? You know what I mean? Like that's how alcoholics think. It's all or nothing at all.
Well, I think they're trying to sanitize addiction in some ways. And make it more mainstream because I'm a painter who enjoys being social and you wouldn't understand that.
Right.
And it's like, I told, a friend of mine, they said, well, you just have a thing about alcohol. And I said, I do. And I don't understand why it has to be dominant in every aspect of fun in your life. I just don't understand why, it's like you can't go painting, you have to go wine painting, it's like, I can't go, I can't take a welding class. It's got to be a wine welding class, And
until you get sober and you step away from it and you realize it's the truth. I mean, you got to step away from it and see that you can still have a life without booze. And I'm doing things now that I would have never, ever done being a drunk. I used to go around the world on the bar stool. Oh, I'm going to go here and I'm going to go visit this and I'm going to listen. I couldn't even get my fat rear end in an airplane seat, let alone go, and then there I was a couple years back traveling over to see my brother in Hawaii. Could fit in the airline seat now, right? Could put the lap belt across my belt, didn't need the extension, that they give people who can't fit in the seats because I'm sober now, I'm sober. I'm not overweight. I can breathe. I don't have sleep apnea. I don't have high blood pressure. I mean, this stuff kills people. And as innocently as they place it out there, it kills people. And it's killing people every single day.
How long has it been since you lost the weight?
It's been almost 4 years now. February of 2014. So I went down to Bryn Mawr Bariatric, down in Bryn Mawr. Saw a guy by the name of Dr. Richard Ng and another life-saving professional who steered me in the right direction, gave me all the ins and outs. Did an absolutely marvelous job with the beginning to the end, you know what I mean? And now, my primary doc, who happens to be an avid triathlete, who, we talk everything from kids to how's your health? What do you feel, what's going on, It allows you to open up to the other professionals as well. There's no more secrets, because they could obviously take one look at you and know you needed help. But unless you were willing to sign off on it and say, yeah, let's get this, surgery done. Or
do you still eat the same foods? I
don't. I have a completely different diet. And thank God for that too, because it's just, do I junk once in a while? Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Because I mean, it's not like I'm not sitting in the garden eating raw vegetables all day. It's not like that.
Yeah, I didn't know if you were out fighting possums for roots and stuff.
No, nothing like that. But I can eat normally.
Because it scares me when somebody.
It's the amounts.
Right. It's the quantity. Yeah, Americans
at 364 pounds, I could sit down.
Everything was single serving.
Listen, I could eat a 20-ounce porterhouse steak with no problem. No problem at all. Now, I could maybe have a couple slithers of a 3-ounce filet mignon.
Yeah.
And red meat really isn't on the table a lot. I got to be honest with you. That's something I've strayed away from. So, which is a good thing for me.
No, that's great. It just
more fish.
I worry when I see people that have any kind of addiction that give up multiple things and do too much change at once, because that can be a way to make them fail, you know.
Well, here's the thing. They tell you when you get in, you got to change one thing.
Right.
And that's everything.
Yeah.
So you got to do it. And it started, for me, it started with alcohol. And then I got that under wraps. And then it was the weight that was blowing up again. And then I got, here we are back again playing whack-a-mole, right? Got that under wraps. And now I'm pretty level. You know what I mean? It's all about, being level.
Do you miss short ribs?
I do nibble on them on occasion.
Okay.
But again, I try to keep it healthy.
Well, it's moderation. It's
right.
that thing the old folks say, all things in moderation.
And moderation is not a word of alcoholism, believe me.
Yeah. Because everybody thinks they're doing...
Well, it's the addictive brain. It's all, you're all in or you're all out, and that's kind of how I roll. So.
That's, I can't imagine losing that much weight. You must, if you did nothing else but lose the weight, you feel like a different person.
I lost a whole person. I mean, I went from 364, 365 to I think at my lowest, I was 217. But I wasn't feeling real good at 217. I almost looked emaciated. I didn't look healthy. So I started eating a little bit better and following their program a little bit better. Again, you got to listen and you got to do as they prescribe. And I did, and then I got to my healthy 225 and 36-inch waist, and, I was in better shape then than I was in high school, and I still am. I mean, I run, I bike, I swim. I feel like a completely different person. And most of the people that knew me, who hadn't seen me in a long time, didn't even know it was me. I had people walk by me and not know it was me.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty good feeling, you know what I mean? And then to hear, people say, hey, listen, I'm really happy for you. You know what I mean? It means a lot. It really means a lot. Because that people have a heart. They wish the best for you. You know what I mean? It's not that cruel, nasty world that you thought it was.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's weight loss is a whole separate thing that's so difficult. And I know, it's a shame that I think we can learn them at any point in our life, but we aren't mature enough or ready to accept them until it's, I don't want to say too late, but almost too late. The whole eating healthy thing and everything. You think, if I'd done it 20 years ago.
Yeah, but you know what?
You were ready for it.
It's never too late. It's never too late to get sober. It's never too late to...
it's not too late, but later. It's like you do things you think, I wish I had the maturity or the sensibility to understand this is what I was supposed to do, but I wasn't at the age to accept it. It was always there, but
you're not, because again,
you got to get there.
You feel like you're invincible. Like these kids these days are the same way. They just feel like they have this invincibility, like nothing's gonna stop them. And I remember thinking like that when I was younger. Like I just felt like I was invincible, but there was something missing all along. And that's once that drink went down, it was like, oh, there you are. You're not afraid anymore. You're not afraid to talk to girls. You're not afraid to do this. You're not afraid to do that. It was just that alcohol was the magic elixir, as we call it. And the minute it went down my throat, it was like, whew, all the weight of the world was lifted, and it was like this magical thing took place. It was like going down the rabbit hole and doing everything I never thought I was capable of. And that's addiction. Because it just allows you to come out of that shell that you were in.
And I think people, and myself included to a degree, don't get that we had a guy on our team that, really good guy. He started acting a little different, and finally he confessed that he had a problem in the past with drinking, and he had taken a drink, and he went out with another guy, and the guy, they were on a trip for us, and he kind of got socially pressured a little bit into taking a drink, and the other guy should have known, because he knew a little bit about his past. He should have known not to do it, but the perfect storm was there. He took the drink, took a couple more drinks. I never saw any signs of the behavior with him, so he hid it well, but he didn't like what it was coming, and he knew himself well enough. I said, look, you can handle it. Don't worry about it. He said, I can't. I need to stop doing this. I need to stop doing everything, but focus on not doing that anymore. And he almost put himself on lockdown, is what he did, because he understood, and I was, don't worry about it. He said, oh, I need to worry about it, and he knows himself. And I think lots of times people that aren't, haven't experienced it, either directly or indirectly, minimize it when somebody says, I have a problem with it. And I don't think they realize, because when people have looked me in the eye and serious about it, they're dead serious about it, and I think we take that for granted. And
listen, it's life and death. I mean, I'm here to tell you, it's life and death. There's no other way I can think about it. That next drink for me could be, I'm checking out, and I don't ever want that to happen. I don't want to be one of those guys who goes back out and tests the water, does the field research, because I don't know where it's going to take me. I may last a month, I may last 6 months, but I'll be back drinking the way I was drinking, because it's a progressive disease, alcoholism. And sooner or later, I'll be back drinking the way I was when I decided it was time to get help.
Well, I guess the part of the difference between that substance abuse and, we were saying, more socially acceptable and different drugs is that now that you've been on both sides of it, you have to notice that everywhere alcohol is,
it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. It's opioids and cocaine aren't quite everywhere publicly yet,
but
they're nearby.
If you want it,
they're always near.
Yeah, for the addict that's their drug of choice, they know where to get it. It's easy as alcohol.
Oh yeah.
The minute they get home, they can pick up the phone and call a dealer and say, "Hey, I need this," or "Hey, I need that." Just like the alcoholic can go walk down to the corner bar and get a 6-pack, or wherever it is they are. You know what I mean? And that's the thing, when a rehab isn't a fix-all. You got to be spiritually sound. You got to get on solid spiritual ground to get the help, number one, and to keep sober. Because the minute you get off of that solid spiritual ground, you're going down a bad road. You're going right back toward, and that's another thing. Like we say in the program, again, you're either going towards a drink or you're going away from a drink. When you get out of rehab, you don't have to go to a meeting. You don't have to get a sponsor. You don't have to do anything they tell you. It's 12 steps of suggestions. This is what we're suggesting to you to stay sober. If you don't do it, you're on your own. You're going down a bad road. I'll tell you right now. And I was so gung-ho about getting sober. I did everything they told me, and then some. And all the little life lessons that my dad told me over the years. Because he was like my Clarence sitting on my shoulder, We lost him right before my first daughter was born back in 2000. And I was out partying that night and came home to a wife who was about to give birth. I'm out drinking, getting crazy before the holidays, December 13th, 2000. Come home to my wife, who's literally a month away from giving birth to our child, and I'm out getting drunk. I'm getting torn up. And I come home to the phone call of, "Hey, we lost your dad tonight to a massive heart attack." And there I was, in no way, shape, or form, ready to get in a car and drive down to be with my family. And I had to hold that guilt. And to this day, I still hold a little bit of that guilt, that I couldn't even get in a car and drive down and comfort my mom after my father died, you know.